What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. As usual, I'm your host, Damon Anthony. And what we're going to do, we're just going to chop it up about sports. That's what we do around here. So, since we last talked, there's been some movement, there's been some things. NFL Week 8 wrapped up. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break that down. The World Series kicked off on Friday. Currently, Dodgers up 3-0, with game 4 actually happening tonight. So this one is must win for the Yankees. Now the Dodgers walk in, they're ready to go. They're doing their thing. Whether it's Freeman, whether it's Betts, Ohtani kind of tweaked his shoulder a little bit. So we haven't seen the Ohtani that we've seen throughout the rest of the playoffs. But the Dodgers are coming, they're bringing their bats, they're ready to roll. On the other side, the Yankees, we're seeing some struggles. Aaron Judge doesn't look good at all. He's not seeing the ball, whatever it is. I don't know. He's just not looking good at all. So it's going to definitely be, all hands on deck, fighting back against the wall for the Yankees. Meanwhile, the Dodgers trying to pull in their second ring in the last couple of years. Before the playoffs started, I predicted the Dodgers and the Guardians to make the World Series. Hey, look, Dodgers made it. Said before the World Series, I had the Dodgers. It looks like they're showing up, showing out, and they're going to take home a ring, unless the Yankees can harness the energy of the 2004 Red Sox, which I honestly don't think the baseball gods are going to let happen. This one might be over real soon. It just might. We'll see. NBA is now in full swing. It's been pretty cool. Just started last week. We're only 4 games in, 5 games in, depending on the team. Have seen a couple things. Did get to see LeBron drop a triple double the other night. Last night, Paolo Banchero almost had the 50-point triple double. 50 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Get busy, young man. Orlando is going to end up being one of those teams that all they need is some experience, a couple more pieces. If they can keep everybody there, they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a good team at some point. Not saying that they're going to make a run to the finals or anything like that this year, but this is how you see these young teams come together, get built right, and actually make a little bit of noise. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the NBA, but I also get it and understand, hey, look, it's just started. It's just started. Cleveland Cavaliers are, I believe, 4-0 in the season. It just started. Some of these teams that might be 1-3, anything like that, 82 games in the season. So let's make sure everybody pumps their brakes a little bit and understands that it just gets back into the games. For me, I'm going to turn up the volume big time on the NBA once we get down that stretch run of the NFL. That's typically how life goes for me. I will check out the NBA here or there, but I don't get fully immersed into it until after the NFL. There's 82 games. It's a long season. Kind of the same thing with baseball. 162 games, that's a long damn time. But I am happy that it's back. I'm happy hockey's back. College football is looking awesome week to week because you don't really know who's going to do what. You don't really know who's the team because anybody can lose at any point. Plus, now everybody's playing for this 12-game playoff, which really changes the game and the dynamic of the entire season as things go. So, how this next month rolls out is going to be great. We're going to see who gets left off. Once the playoffs start, I want to see some of these odd teams play a big name. I love to see, let's say, pulling 2 out of the air, Boise State and Texas. That'd be really cool. Typically, we would see that, every now and then. But give me some of that action. Those are games that I love seeing. Love seeing the spirits. Love seeing the crowds, the whole 9 yards. So college football is looking real sweet. I want to see how far Indiana goes. It's not a typical football powerhouse, but currently undefeated. They're going to make some noise. I believe they're going to make some noise. Let's see what happens. All right. Now let's move to the NFL. So week 8 wrapped up last night with the Giants and the Steelers, but we're going to start at the beginning. right? So last Thursday night, Rams Vikings at the Rams. Rams knocked off the Vikings by 10, 30-20. Me personally, I kind of thought that the Vikings were going to come in, especially off of that loss to Detroit, and show a little something else. Didn't happen. The Rams, they're getting players back. They're getting a little healthy, and that offense looked like a typical Sean McVay offense with Stafford doing his thing, Cup out there balling, Puka Nacua. A lot of people didn't know that Puka Nacua was going to actually play the whole game. Thought he was going to be on a snap count. Homie came out, did his thing. So Rams are looking all right. They're looking all right. Currently, they sit in the cellar of the NFC West, but we all know that they have the players that could build that into a little better of a thing as the season moves on. All right, moving to Sunday. Eagles beat the shit out of the Bengals, 37-17. This one was never really a game. It kind of was. I mean, the Eagles still haven't scored a point in the first quarter at all season. But once they got going, it was a wrap. It was an absolute wrap. Jalen Hurts, 4 touchdowns, a couple tush pushes, 3 tush pushes, and then 2 tush pushes, a run in, and then a deep ball to Devontae. The Eagles, I don't know. To me, they're real inconsistent. So I need to see how they're going to be week by week. Once they get to that point where they're just reeling them off, the fear really isn't there. Meanwhile, with the Bengals, hey, look, Joe Burrow said after the game, we can win 7 out of the next 9 to get into the playoffs. Well, the time is now. The time is now. Because the Bengals, they're just not looking very good. They're looking to me like pre-Burrow Bengals. I think they gotta pull it together there. Also had a big upset on Sunday. There were a couple upsets, but one of the bigger upsets was the Browns beating the Ravens 29-24. Didn't see that coming. I don't think most people did. Now, your diehard Cleveland Brown fan will say that they saw that coming because they always play well against division. Fair enough. But the quarterback change, having Jameis Winston in there, this is the first time all year that the Browns scored more than 20 points. This is the first time all year that the quarterback has thrown for 300 yards. Jameis Winston went out there and he did a damn good job. Makes you kind of wonder, especially after seeing other quarterbacks come in and actually play well with the Browns. Maybe Deshaun Watson just isn't good anymore. Maybe he's not. Because it's damn sure not like Jameis Winston is coming out there and he's one of the greatest of all time. But homie did go out and he did get that dub against Baltimore. Now, what Baltimore has done today, just to help themselves out a little bit, they went out and they traded for Deontay Johnson from Carolina. That definitely gives them an actual number 1 type receiver. So now you got him out there. You got Zay Flowers. You still got Bateman. You still got Isaiah Likely. Still got Mark Andrews, King Henry. They're getting a little more deep in the weapons list. So Baltimore is going to continue to be one of those teams that they're going to be there. They're going to be there. But losing to the Browns, never good. Never good. Then we have the Titans and the Lions. Now let's talk Detroit Lions. They beat the shit out of the Titans. I was watching this game and I saw, at one point it's 14-14. I'm like, nah, Titans playing out of their minds, or are the Lions just, having a little bit of hangover from the previous week? Wasn't that at all. The Lions were warming up. Once they warmed up, they shut it down. I mean, they scored just about every way that you could. Jared Goff had multiple TDs and 86 yards passing. That's how crazy the Lions look. For all of those out there, I've talked about this for a couple days with a couple people. Listen, the Lions, they look like the best team in the NFL. They're definitely the best team in the NFC. I have no problem saying that. You see it on tape. They're going out, they're dominating, playing well on both sides of the ball. Even with the loss of Hutchinson, which, I think they're probably going to make a trade to bring somebody in. But even with the loss of Hutch, they still went out and they balled out. And one thing you should do if you're a good team is beat a bad team, and they did. So the Lions are looking real good. Not only do I believe they're the best team in the NFC, I actually think they're the best team in all of football right now. Not going to knock anything from the Chiefs. Can't knock anything from the Chiefs. They're the defending champ. They haven't lost yet this year. But if I'm just looking at if you're showing me NFL teams this year and you just say, hey, who's the best team that you see? Currently, it's Detroit. They're the best team that I'm watching right now. So big shout out to the Lions. Over on Tennessee side, not good. Not good at all. They look like just very much a pedestrian team, just a team, just an NFL team. And I can get that. I can dig that. Then we had the Cardinals and the Dolphins with the return of Tua. So this one, the Dolphins, I'll say this, they look completely different with Tua under center. Completely different team. They play a lot more fluid on offense. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, and everyone touches the ball. Numbers are there for everybody. But Arizona just continues to be like a little gnat in people's ear. They're there. They don't really go away. They're a pretty good team. They're not great. They're not, I'm not seeing them being world beaters or anything like that. But whatever they're doing, they're learning to stick around and just win the game at the end. Another walk-off field goal for Arizona. So Cardinals right now currently hold the number one spot in the NFC West. All they got to do is keep playing like they're doing, and we could be looking at a playoff team. We really could. Then we had another upset. This one was kind of a funny upset. Won't lie to you. It's a little bit more funny than anything. But the Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. A lot of questions out there about this one. We saw Drake May go out, Jacoby Brissett come in. But on the Jets side, you're supposed to go in and beat the Patriots. The Patriots, they are 100% a rebuilding ass team. They're not very good right now. Everyone knows that. Starting a rookie quarterback against your defense, which is supposed to be one of the best defenses. Now you have Rodgers, and he's got all the things that he wants and that he desires and that he needs, and they couldn't get it done against the Patriots. This may be it for the Jets. I mean, the Jets, they're about to play Houston in a couple days. Houston's not a slouch at all. The Jets are in a situation where they might need to run the table. Maybe we need a RELAX out of Mr. Rodgers. I don't know, but the Jets just don't look good. Patriots, keep plugging away. Jets, figure it out. And we had the Falcons Buccaneers. Falcons won that one 31-26 in Tampa Bay. Won't lie to you, it was kind of a cool game. One, the Falcons look good. They just look really good. They look like they're clicking where they need to be clicking. Finally saw some proper usage, I think, out of Bijan Robinson. But on the Bucs side, I'll say this about Baker Mayfield. You're without Godwin. You're without Mike Evans. He's still out there slinging. He's still doing his thing. Cade Otton came to play. This was also National Tight Ends Day. And just about all the tight ends did their business. I'm not going to say all of them scored. I'm not going to say all of them had 100 yards. But there was a multitude of tight ends that got busy on Sunday. Like, absolutely busy. So big shout out to National Tight End Day. And for my man George Kittle for starting that up, All right, then we had the Packers-Jags. So now this one, the Packers, to me, they're supposed to go in and blow the doors off the Jags. Now, Love did go down. Malik Willis had to get in there and play. But Jacksonville, they continue to just be a weird team. They actually showed that they could play pretty well, and they looked all right. But they're not going to get it done. I think at the end of this season, Doug Peterson may have to find another job. I hate to say that, but it's just looking more and more like that. We know they're locked in with Trevor Lawrence. Looks like Christian Kirk may be down now. They're a real, like, what's going on over their team. Now with the Packers, just got to keep playing. I mean, we do see the sunshine on cats like Romeo Dobbs. Dobbs is looking like an actual beast out there. So let's see how this season rolls out for them. Another big game, big implications that have carried on. Texans, Colts. Now the Texans hosted the Colts, and the Texans won this one 23-20. Not a ton of notes from this one, Stephon Diggs hurt, another season-ending injury for Diggs. We already know they're without Nico. We already know, they've been getting beat up a lot on defense as far as Houston. But something happened on that Indianapolis team that was just odd. There was a play where Anthony Richardson hopped up, tapped his head, and typically in football, that's like, hey, give me a quick breather, get somebody in here real quick. Quarterbacks don't do that. Never seen a quarterback do that. Unless they're hurt, unless they're actually hurt. Problem is, after the game, in the press conference, when someone asked the question, he said he was tired. Can't do that. You just can't do that. You're a quarterback, you're a leader of men. You actually control the pace of the game. So me, as a non-NFL player, I played football 30 years ago when I was in damn high school, damn near. But just as a guy, things that I know about football. You could go out there, AR. Your coach may want a pass play. You just fell on a ball, knocked your wind out. You're trying to pull your shit back together. Call a run play. Just audible out of it. Call a run play. Who cares if your coach cusses at you? Let them know what happened. But don't say shit like that to the reporter. Or just lie. Say, hey, I was a little shook up. Had to come out, check myself out real quick. Boom. No one cares. You move on. But then you add to that now, AR's been benched. Now, the Colts are adamant that it has nothing to do with him pulling himself from that game. I don't believe it is either, because he hasn't really been great. He hasn't been consistent. He's shown a glimpse here or there, but more often than not, doesn't really look that good under center, doesn't really look that good back there slinging that ball. So they decided to bench him, which coincided with the issue that happened Sunday. So Joe Flacco is going to be the starter this Sunday. Now, people here in Cleveland know about Joe Flacco because he took over for Deshaun Watson after he got hurt last year, took the Browns to the playoffs. Am I saying that's going to happen with the Colts? I don't know. Hope it does. That'd be kind of cool. But now we're going to see a little different of a look on that Colts team. So I'm real interested to seeing how they look moving forward. All right, moving on. Chargers Saints. This was just an ugly, boring ass game. For a while, this game was like 2-3 because the Saints got a early safety. But these are two teams that, to me, they're going nowhere this year. You're going to see them pop up in games, and these are going to be like nobody cares games. That's exactly what this is going to be. I believe this was my nobody cares game of the week, and I'm so glad that there were 5 games on at 4 so that I didn't even have to clog my TVs up with this one, because this was just a dog to watch. Bills Seahawks. Bills beat the Seahawks in Seattle 31-10. And the Bills, for real, they looked dominant. That's what they did. They shut down that run. Yeah, it was a rainy day. Typically on those days, the running game's going to be a little better. They were very physical up front with the Seattle Seahawks. Completely shut down the run. Trust me, I was paying attention. Completely shut down the run. Now, for Buffalo, they just look like a team that's coming in to kick ass, take names, and go home. Buffalo is continuing to look like they're going to be fighting possibly with Baltimore and Kansas City for supremacy of the AFC this year. It's going to be real fun to watch what happens there. But they definitely look like one of the best teams in all of football, definitely in the AFC. Then you have Panthers Broncos. This is one that, you can go into this game with a nobody cares attitude. Broncos win 28-14. But what the Broncos are actually doing is they're all right. They're a decent team. They may end up in the playoffs. Currently, they're sitting 5-3. Bo Nix is looking better every single week. The team is starting to get that Sean Payton bravado. So I really want to see what happens there. Now on the Carolina side, they suck. And we just all know that. They're not a good team. They're not going to be a good team as the year goes on. They're a team trying to build new coach, second-year quarterback, just traded their number one receiver. They're definitely a team that needs some help. It's not going to be in a hurry, but Hopefully their fan base sticks behind them and just rocks with them a little bit. And we had Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs go into Vegas and win 27-20. No big surprise there. Chiefs, still undefeated on the season. The one thing that I'm seeing out of the Chiefs though right now is they're not really blowing teams out. They're not. Teams are able to hang in there into the fourth quarter to have their chance, even against the 49ers. 49ers hung in there and hung in there and hung in there. Purdy just didn't have a good game. In this game, the Raiders, there's no reason they should hang in there against the Chiefs. They just should. But they did hang in there. Now, as much as sure, the Chiefs, they're the top dog right now. They're defending champ, still undefeated. They look like they need a little boost in their offense. Now, as the season goes, maybe they get that pickup, and we also know Mahomes is back there, Kelsey's there. They just got in D-Hop. He has to learn that offense. Andy Reid's on the sideline, so I don't really expect Kansas City to fall off or anything. This just isn't. They don't look like this dominant team that everybody is used to. The last of the 4:00 games, Bears Commanders. Now listen. This one right here. This was a dog of a game to watch. This was a dog. I was really looking forward to this game. So I actually had this one up and I just wanted to watch this game. Just check this one out. I had Red Zone. I had other games on another TV, right? An absolute abysmal dog of a game until about the last 3 minutes. And the last 3 minutes were fantastic on both ends. The Bears went down, took the lead like they're supposed to. Then you got that Hail Mary from Jaden Daniels. I think he held the ball for 12 point something seconds. Deep ball, tip ball, caught, end zone, walk off, goodbye. Good night, Irene. Man, listen, that is as exciting as it gets to watch a game you don't care anything about and have that Hail Mary. Also, my guy that was taunting the crowd, the Chicago Bear that was taunting the crowd as the play was going and didn't realize it. Come on, man, you gotta do better, man. You gotta do better. One thing that I'm adamant and I talk about on the pod is, fans, we're fans. We're not part of the game. The players are a part of the game. Well, this is one of the few times I say it. Players play. Play. Don't worry about the fans. Don't worry about anybody out there barking. I know you want to talk your trash, but even back in the day, way, way back when I played a little bit of high school football, my coach used to say, if you want to talk shit to somebody, point at the scoreboard. That's it. There's nothing else to say. And then also the game isn't over until the clock reads 000. Clock reads 000, turn to the crowd, say whatever you have to. If the other team has one play, that means they have one chance. And damn if they ain't take advantage of that chance. Now, one thing also about these teams, Chicago continues to look like a team that could put it together and actually make a run towards the playoffs. On the Washington side, this Washington Commanders team is starting to remind me of the team with RG3. They're looking really good. Right now, they lead the NFC East. I wouldn't have said that. I definitely didn't say that coming into the season, but they're looking like a really solid team. And they could be scary hours. Could be scary hours for a lot of these teams if they can't really hold and contain Jaden Daniels for a full 60 minutes, because I'm not really seeing too many teams do that. Game I was really looking forward to all day Sunday. It kind of sucked. Sometimes it sucks having them 8:00 games, especially if it's like a big rival or one of those games where you're just looking forward to and there's some shit talk and all that. So this past Sunday was Cowboys Sunday. Niners Cowboys in Santa Clara. So I had to sit all day long watching football, twiddling my thumbs. Oh my God, time was so slow. But then the game started and we got it on. So the Niners beat the Cowboys 30-24. So this game was all about a couple things. Good defense by the Niners, Purdy kind of pulling it back together. Bad offense by the Cowboys. And the one thing that we decided we wouldn't do was guard CeeDee Lamb, at the second half of the game. Go ahead and score you a couple touchdowns. All in all, I was happy to see the 49ers kind of pull their shit back together a little bit and just beat a worse team than you. Dallas, I believe, is done on the season. I'm sure they can go reel off some victories. I don't see it happening. They look like a very one-dimensional team. They also don't look like a team that's going to stop anybody, or at least not too much. But right now, their running back situation, their rushing game is non-existent. All they pretty much have is CD. That's it. You got to get somebody else other than CD Lamb. This was something Jerry could have taken care of in the offseason, decided not to. He owns the team, his business. But I think Dallas is up out of there. Meanwhile, San Francisco, they're walking into their bye week. So they get some time to get some rest. I believe the practice window for CMC is going to open back up. You can get Debo all the way healthy. We're getting closer to Dre Greenlaw getting back. As this team gets healthy and they start clicking, they could still make a run, to the playoffs, and let's see how far it goes. But only time will tell, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. I really am. Last game of week 8 was the Giants and the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Steelers pulled this one off 26-18. Nothing that I don't think anyone didn't expect. I actually thought it was going to be a bigger blowout. But, this Pittsburgh Steelers team now with Russell Wilson, they're still figuring themselves out and getting their legs under them with a new quarterback that's only a couple starts in. But for them to have the record that they do, I believe they're 5-3. That's a testament to that team. Defense, always good. TJ Watt, a monster. I'm going to say TJ Watt, best defensive player right now in the league. Maybe 1A to 1B being Fred Warner, but TJ Watt is doing this week in, week out with absolutely no problem. Can't really take anything away from him. If that dude runs off another defensive player of the year, cheers, sir. Because you see it, we all see it. Anybody that argues against it is bullshitting. But this Pittsburgh team, they could make some noise. They really could make some noise. I would like to see how deep they go. I want to see a playoff game. A Pittsburgh-Baltimore playoff game would be absolutely fantastic. And we may see one. We really may see one. So that, the Steelers team, all right. Now look, y'all, that's week 8 in the books. We're about to move into week 9. This means we're at the halfway mark of the season. Once you pass over week 9, it's all downhill from here. So some of these teams that really don't have their shit together and it's not looking any better, y'all are going to start being in some nobody care games. Meanwhile, some of you other teams that have, those hopes, it's time to pull it together. 49ers, it's time to pull it together. Right now, 49ers don't look like a good team. Got to pull it in. Because the teams that are really good out there, and I'm talking Detroit, talking about Kansas City, I'm talking about Buffalo, they're not going away, folks. They're not going away. So definitely loving, where the NFL season is and what's going to happen in the future. NBA, definitely got to shoot more shit about the NBA. I did do my Rivals pod. I may do that over because I didn't have my notes. That's the one pod I needed notes for. I kind of just went off of my head. I don't know if I really like that, but we'll see what happens. I might drop it and then just do another one just for shits and gigs. All right. So until next time, be good or be good at it, and I will holler.